Hi friends, welcome to day 2 of remote learning. We are still working on the story Rosa Blanca. I hope that you enjoyed listening to the story yesterday. Some of the words that you might have seen in the story were such as luckiest. That is more lucky than the previous people behind you. So you could be lucky, luckier, or luckiest. Chiles are hot peppers that are used for seasoning. Sometimes we get words from other languages. We talk about this all the time in class, especially when it comes to the way that words are spelled. Oftentimes when you're reading a book, if the word comes from a different country, it will be italicized. And if you look at this word, I'm not sure you can see this when I click on here, but that is how that the word is slanted, and that lets you know that it has like a little bit of a different meaning, or they want you to pay attention to that part. Here are some words that you could have seen. So I want you to be thinking about who goes to a farmer's market. Do you know of any farmer's markets? I know that Rochester has a farmer's market on the Commons. What kinds of things do you think are sold at farmers markets? The farmers market in Rochester is not open in the winter time, but there are other farmer markets that are open in the winter time, such as in Concord. I believe they're open once a week. When I think of the word farmer and farmer's market, I think about what could they want to sell? And oftentimes it would be fruits and vegetables, plants. Sometimes you have people who would have made jelly, or beekeepers who are selling their honey. If you look at the picture above, some of the sights and sounds at a farmer's market might be a lot of people. There might be some really great smelling flowers, or somebody might be making kettle corn popcorn, or maybe there's the donuts. I think maybe, because I haven't been to the Rochester Farmers Market in a long time, maybe there are even food trucks there. I would also imagine that kids would be playing and running around, and you would hear people exchanging money and talking about what they might do with those products that they just purchased at the market. So here are some things that could have fallen into that. You can buy fresh vegetables, honey, and cheese and fruit. We kind of talked about that. You cannot buy a car. Oh, just kidding. It says can. Sorry about that. Although I bet you there are jarred things, maybe not canned things. So the skill of this week is called sequencing, and we have done so much with sequencing. If you remember when we wrote our opinion piece, we did, had all those transition words listed on the wall. Today, tomorrow, first, then, next, last. I'm going to attempt to pause this and play a video for you guys. Ooh, look at that, it worked. We should still be recording.
Sequence. Sequence is the order of events in a story. Looks like something is about to happen. You just watched a sequence. Let's look at it again. First, the egg began to crack. Next, the chick made a hole in the egg with its beak. Last, the chick hatched from the egg. Clue words like first, next, then, last, and finally help you follow the sequence and the plot of the story. As you read, think about the sequence of events so that you can keep track of what happens. It will make you a better reader.
Great. Let's get back to what we were working on. So we just covered that part. So you're going to be a sequence detective. The sequence is the order in which events happen. Certain words can be sequence clues. We should know about this. We've done a lot of work with this, highlighting those words and talking about them and being detectives already in our writing class. First, next, then, finally. in the morning, after that, later in the day, 2 weeks later. Other time words could be yesterday, Saturday, April, or winter, plus many, many, many more. You're going to see if you can spot the sequence words in our next couple of slides. Last Tuesday, I met with my new friend Mickey. We were both in a ball game at recess. I told him he had made a good catch during the game. Later that day, we played in a softball game. We were on the same team and we won. Think about what are some transition words in this story. Let's see if you were right. If you said things like last Tuesday or later that day, way to go, ding, ding, ding. After the game, we traded some baseball cards, and then he said he wanted to ask me something. After he finished talking, we walked to the bus stop. Think about the transition words that are in this part of the story. I'll check for your knowledge in just 1 second. If you said things like after the game, then, and after, you are on the right track of being a sequence word detective. The next morning, I was able to answer his question. My parents said that I would go to his family's apartment to have dinner with him on his birthday, December 6th. There are some more transition words in this part of the story. Take a second to think about some of the transition words you see. In just a second, I'll show you the next slide. Did you guess the next morning and on his birthday, December 6th? I bet some of you did. One of the things we're working on this week also is verbs. When you were in Seesaw on Monday, you should have seen a verb activity where you were sorting things that are currently happening. Tony plants, things that happened in the future. You will be planting something, or things that happened in the past, like you already did that. Oh, that was quick. Sorry about that. You are going to look at each of these sentences and try and figure out what the verb is, and did it happen in the past, present, or future. Lynn remembers a pretty place. What was the verb? A verb is a word. It's an action word. If you can do it, then you do it. If you do it, it's a verb. So the verb is remember. And it says remembers a pretty place. Did that happen in the present, like right now? In the past, already happened, or in the future, will happen soon? A man hammered nails into boards. The action is hammered. Did that happen right now? Will it happen in the future, or did it already happen? Well, you should know that it already happened because of these two letters, ED. A big fish splashed in the lake. The verb is, shout it out, splashed, and the ED lets us know that it happened in the past. We will return tomorrow morning. The verb is return. When will we return? Tomorrow. And it would be in the future because we haven't done it yet. Tomorrow you're going to reread Rosa Blanca and do a look back and write. You will have all of that in a link for your work plan in the morning. The next video will go over our high frequency words. Thank you to Google Images.